very good afternoon to Dr. Samira and to all my classmates. So today we will be presenting about the hospitality and tourism industry. Before we begin the presentation, I would like to introduce our teammates. We are group 6 and starting with myself, I am Malsha Dharmawardana. We have Aisha, Fatima, also Samudini Ekanayaka, Chamudita Vijayaratna and also Nirmani De Silva. So let's discuss the table of contents for the presentation, what we are going to be discussing throughout this presentation. We will be having a short introduction about the hospitality and tourism industry, also the net value and the human resources used, and the words which have entered to the English language, and how these words help the industry, and how the words facilitate cross-border communication, and a short conclusion. Moving on, I would like to ask you a small question. What is hospitality and tourism industry? Is hospitality and tourism industry famous in Sri Lanka?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So let's discuss about what hospitality and tourism industry is. So as we know, hospitality and tourism industry is a multifaceted and a dynamic sector which encompasses a wide range of activities and services for individuals and groups. So it includes experiences such as transportation, accommodation, food and beverage services, also entertainment and cultural experiences. If we discuss about the nature of the hospitality and tourism industry, it is a diverse industry which caters to a lot of travelers, and such as travelers with leisure, business, ecotourism and cultural as well. Moving on. So if we talk about the nature of the industry, I have come up with 4 points. If we discuss about the diversity of services means hospitality and tourism industry offers a broad spectrum, which means it includes a lot of services such as flights, hotels, reservations, restaurants, guided tours. And the second point is seasonality. So as we know, hospitality and tourism industry has peak seasons and off-peak periods. For an example, for Sri Lanka, now it's peak period because as we know, a lot of foreigners come down to Sri Lanka because it's the peak period. Even in Kandy, the Perahara is taking place and tourists are coming down. And the global and local impact, which contributes significantly to the GDP and the employment. And the final point is customer centric, which means hospitality and tourism industry mainly focuses on providing high quality and experiences for customer satisfaction. Moving on, let's see how hospitality and tourism industry have expanded across continents and countries. So if we take Europe, it is the most visited continent because it has a very rich historic and a cultural heritage with lot of landscapes. So countries such as France, Spain, Italy and UK are top destinations if we take Europe. And moving on, if we take Asia, it is another country which is rapidly growing in tourism. For an example, India, Sri Lanka, Maldives and China can be taken as an example. Moving on to the next slide, we are going to discuss about the net value of the industry, and for this purpose I would like to call upon Chamudita. Over to you, Chamudita.
Thank you, Marsha. Chamudita Vijayaratna. So we'll have we call the net value of the industry, right? so hospitality and tourism industry is one of the largest industries which is contributing trillions of dollars annually to the global economy, right? So according to the numerous reports, the GDP of hospitality and tourism industry is approximately in between 10 to 11 percentage. So GDP stands for gross domestic product, which means it is the total value of everything which which a country. Right. So according to the recent estimates, the GDP of hospitality and tourism industry is approximately in between 10 to 11 percentage. So GDP stands for gross domestic product, right? So which means it is the total value of everything which a country produces within a specific period of time, and also it reflects the economy of the country, right? So to this net value, it includes money which are coming from hotels and food and beverage services, etc. So moving on to the next slide. So here we have got a graph, right? So this graph indicates the global market value of hospitality and tourism industry according to the recent reports, right? So as we explore the financial impact of hospitality and tourism industry, it is very crucial to understand how massive this industry is, right? So as you all can see, in 2024, the global market value of this industry is escalated up to 6.5 trillion US dollars, right? So this net value is being obtained due to the contribution which is being done by hotels, airlines, travel agencies, etc. Right? So if we go ahead, the future of this industry looks promising. Because why I'm saying that, in 2028, the global market value of this industry is expected to be around 7.8 trillion US dollars, right? So if you look at this growth very carefully, you will be able to identify there's a steady growth of 4.42 percentage annually from 2023 to 2028, right? So along with the COVID-19 pandemic, this industry also being affected from that, as well as the whole global economy, right? So, but this growth shows how this industry is bouncing back after the COVID-19 pandemic, and also it shows the long-term potential of tourism and hospitality, right? So therefore, people who have got money will be able to travel for leisure, for business purposes, right? So that the business which are in this industry will be explored more job opportunities to grow, will invest, will innovate, and at the same time, this industry will be playing a key role for the betterment of the global economy, right? Moving on to the next slide. So now let's have a look at the global human resources, which is involved in hospitality and tourism industry, right? So in this industry, um, this is one of the largest employers worldwide, because there are more than 300 million people who are working as employees, right? So moving on to the next slide. So now we'll have a look on what are the key roles of this employment are. As you all can see, when it comes to hotels, so the jobs will be extended from the front desk staff to housekeeping and management and specialized services such as concierge and event planning. When it comes to restaurants, the servers, chefs, kitchen staff and restaurant management will be playing the key roles. And travel agencies, employees who assist with booking, who plans travel arrangements, who offers advice, and also the customer care will be the major roles. Moving on. So as you all know, when it comes to the airlines, pilots, cabin crew members, ground staff, and maintenance personnel will be taking over the key roles of their industry. When it comes to the tour operators, employees who design and organize travel packages, and also who handles logistics and guide tours will be the key roles. Moreover, when it comes to the other related services, there will be people who are doing their job roles in attraction, entertainment venues, and also as support services. Moving on. So finally, we have a look on this slide. So this include the diversification varieties in the tourism and hospitality industry, right? So there is a diversity in job types, especially. As you all can see, people who are having minimum experiences, And people who are having advanced skills with experiences will be positioned as two different areas for their professions as entry-level professions and also as high-skilled professions, right? So in a nutshell, hospitality and tourism industry is one of the key roles which is playing for the betterment of the global economy, and at the same time, it is doing a great job for the growth of employment prospects worldwide. So that's pretty much it. The next, Samudini will be taking up the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shamita. So today I'm going to talk about the words that entered from other different languages into English lexicon. So hospitality and tourism industry is one of the largest and rapidly growing industry worldwide. So with the growth, new words, new terms and phrases are created. So you can see, according to Crystal, he states that language evolves due to social and technological development. But when it comes to this industry, so these changes take place by adopting new terms and concepts. So therefore, from the past onwards, new words have entered into English lexicon, and they have entered due to historical influence like colonialism, travel, trade, and cultural exchange. So if you are planning to be a professional in this industry, so it's crucial for you all to follow and understand these terms. So now this clearly shows you about the evolution of hospitality and tourism industry and its transformation over centuries. So in this late Middle English period, so you can see that the people who traveled stayed in simple inns, and the wealthy people used villas to stay, which is a luxurious residence. So the people who traveled in long journeys planned out their activities for the stays in itineraries. And in the 17th century, the innkeepers played the role of concierge by providing their services to the guests. And during the late 17th century, wealthy Europeans tend to use bungalows for them to stay and enjoy. And after the Industrial Revolution, hotels planned of providing and offering suites for people who are searching for much comfort. And during the early 19th century, tourism improved, and trying of different cuisines became a prominent part in tourism. And also finally, personalized travel such as safari improved during the late 19th century. So here you can see that majority of the words have been derived from Latin, French, Hindi and Swahili. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how these words originated, their root meanings and their newly acquired meanings. The first word is villa, which originated from Latin, meaning a country residence. The meaning at present is a large luxurious house or a rented holiday home. The second word is itinerary, derived from Latin, meaning an account of journey. So the present meaning refers to a planned route where they often detail with travel arrangement and their activities. Third word is concierge, which came from French, meaning keeper of the keys or doorkeeper. So basically today it refers to an employee who plays the role as providing services for their guests. So the fourth word is bungalow, which came from Hindi, meaning Bengali style type of house. So today it refers to a single story house used for vacation rentals. The fifth word is suite, which came from French, meaning a set of rooms. So today it refers to a set of connected rooms in hotels with shared living areas and more bedrooms. So the sixth word is tourism, which came from French, meaning journey or excursion, and it's the practice of traveling for pleasure and businesses. The seventh word is cuisine, which came from French, and it reflects the meaning of style of cooking. Today, it is used to mention about a characteristic style of cooking or a particular set of culinary traditions. And the eighth word is safari, which came from Swahili, meaning journey or expedition. So today it is used to talk about wildlife tours or ecotourism. So you can see how these words came from other languages into English. So now Aisha will be talking about how these words help the industry. Over to Aisha.
Thank you, Samdani. So today I'll be talking about how the words enrich the language and help the tourism industry. First of all, we all know English is a linguistic magpie, gleefully collecting and incorporating words from a plethora of other languages. As my friend told, English has literally become a language where it is a combination of other language words. This rich tapestry of borrowed terms has significantly enriched the language. For example, as my friend told, bungalow, cuisine, bellboy, etc. So by integrating all these words, English not only gains new vocabulary but also absorbs cultural nuances and concepts from the languages of origin, making it a richer and more expressive language. As we all see in the context of Sri Lanka, right now as most of the tourists are in Sri Lanka, we always see that even though we know English or not, they try to speak to us in English because they believe that as English is a universal language, we might understand what they are trying to require. And now let's see how these words helped in the tourism industry. Firstly, authentic branding and marketing. For example, names of the places such as Sea Giria, Burj Khalifa. When we are talking in the context of Sri Lanka, tourists always try to pronounce the real name. Though they find it difficult to pronounce, they always try to get the authentic name like the fortress of Sigiriya rather than using the word rock. Next one, enhancing tourist experiences. Example, local cuisine, cultural practices. Even right now, even though we visit all star class restaurants and hotels, the name board will show the authentic name what it says, not the English meaning. Next, enriching, promoting local arts and crafts. Example, traditional crafts and cultural festivals. Even, for example, Asala Perahara. Tourists are being more attracted these days because of the Perahara. But we all know it's a pageant. But they try to find the authentic word and come and visit all those stuff to get the experience. Enriching tour guides and interpretations. Example, historical and cultural context. The very basic example which I can relate is Sri Lankan Airlines, their business class lounge is known as earlier lounge. So they could have basically named it in another way, but then they named it to show the authenticity and attract more tourists to our country. When I'm talking about how it has influenced our economy, in the recent video of our foreign minister, I heard that he told he was able to bring $4 billion rather than the IMF by tourism just within this 2 years of time after the COVID pandemic. All this have influenced for a good economy in Sri Lanka. So by integrating language words, the tourism industry can offer more authentic, engaging and culturally respectful experiences, fostering a deeper connection between tourists and destinations they visit. Especially it has strengthened our economy as we are a developing country. Now I would like to hand over to Nirma.
Thank you, Aisha. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll discuss how specific terminology facilitates cross-border communication. First, I would like to ask you a question. What do you mean by cross-border communication? So it refers to the exchange of information and ideas between individuals or organizations in different countries or regions. For examples, in hospitality and tourism industry, managing global hotel chains, handling international bookings, creating global tour packages, partnering for international culinary experiences, and organizing experiences. Organizing global events comes under examples for hospitality and tourism industry. So each industry has its specific terminology. As Samudini mentioned, we've discussed how new words from other languages have entered English, such as villa. So regardless of whether you speak Russian, German or Sinhala, using such terminology, it helps to ensure clear and effective communication. So to illustrate how cross-border communication works, I'll provide a brief example situation in here. So there's a company called, suppose that there's a company called Global Horizons Hotel Group. So they are going to open a new luxury hotel in New York with partnering with the renewed sushi chain Sushi Samba. So by using this familiar term sushi, they aim to attract both international travelers and locals, enhancing the hotel's reputation and appeal. Moving on to the next slide. Now I'll discuss how some new words borrowed from other languages have facilitated cross-border communication. I have included 5 examples here, but I will be discussing about one example, the 4th example. Let's move on to the next slide, please. The 4th one, spa. The term spa has become internationally recognized, referring to establishments offering wellness and relaxation services. So for instance, in Bali, it's in Bali's Four Seasons Spa and the Ritz-Carlton Spa in New York both use the same term to single luxury wellness experiences. So it provides a consistent understanding of relaxation and wellness services, making it easier for travelers to find and enjoy. Moving on to the next slide. The next one, please. So these examples demonstrate how the use of these terms facilitate understanding and communication in the international hospitality and tourism industry. When using specific terminology in cross-border communication, particularly in hospitality and tourism, the following benefits emerge. Clarity, so it ensures clear understanding of services and offerings. Consistency, maintains uniformity in branding and service standards. Efficiency, speeds up communication and decision-making processes. Professionalism, enhances credibility and reliability in international dealings. Customer experience, improves guest satisfaction by setting accurate expectations. Marketing, strengthens global marketing efforts with familiar and appealing terms. Training, facilitates training and onboarding of staff across different regions. And at the last, error reduction, which means minimizes understanding and errors in service delivery. So according to my idea, the new words from this hospitality and tourism industry have enriched the English and improved the global communication. So as we come to the end of this presentation, I'd like to summarize the key points that our team members have discussed. First one, the tourism industry has contributed a range of new terms to English. Second one, these terms enhances the language by incorporating diverse cultural and practical elements. Third one, the integration of these terms facilitates clearer cross-cultural interactions. Fourth point, these words support global industry growth and international engagement. Lastly, ongoing expansion in tourism will likely continue to influence linguistic evolution and intercultural exchange. Next slide, please. So, I'd now like to open the floor for any questions that you might have. Thank you for your time and attention. That concludes our presentation. Have a great day.
Smile, please. Smile, please. Right. Okay. How much? Why this particular industry? Why hospitality? Why? What is the reason as to why you selected this particular industry?
Because of tourism, like these days, as we had a kind of a backdrawn time, because of tourism we have come up with the economy a little bit, and now we see most of the tourists are in Sri Lanka, so we thought it is contextually right to choose it, like we can have a vast research also.
How much time did you spend on researching on the topic?
Individually,
Whatever it is.
Only around 2.5 days.
24 into 2 plus another 12 hours, so that's 48, 58 and 60 hours altogether. 2.5 days, 58, 52 hours continuously used.
Not continuously, sir.
2.5 days, how many hours per day?
Um, 4 hours.
For sure.
Yeah.
For 2 days, like so.
Nearly
48
3
hours.
days, but no, not
60
48
hours.
Like it's I've been doing it by the phone, so sometimes when I'm doing some work too, I try to do it and
Okay.
likewise.
The reason as to why I asked you, why I asked how much time you spent on this, okay. The presentation is, you could have done better in the presentation. Okay. The content is in terms of the language that you have got is of course the words which come right at the first search. So it's at the surface level. Concierge and all these things are understand common words which when you select about understand. Okay. How many research papers did you read for the presentation? Research papers. None. Is it? You didn't read any, right? Right? Okay, so in the next module I want you to, for the presentation I want you to do read presentations. Stop.